MiniWarGaming Speed the Cooler Batrep.
So, Dark Elves turn 1. After that disappointing or demoralizing round of losing our standard bear, we then fail stupidity on the Cold One Knights, who stumble 2 inches forward, which did not go well. The Dreadlord runs up behind the building, and the crossbows run into the building, just trying to stay out of line of sight for the death magic, character-killing, melting spells. Spearmen run right up, Hydra runs right up with them. Now I'm just trying to close the gap. If I can get into combat, then I should be safe. The other Dreadlord hides with his friend, because they don't have any magic resist, and their saves are not that good against what he's got throwing at them. And then the Pegasus comes over there too. Only get 4 from my magic, and he doesn't channel, I don't channel, but Darkstar Cloak gives me additional point, or additional power dice. I try and use Chill Wind, D6, Strength 4 hits, and any wounds caused means that unit can't shoot the following turn. So it goes off, only get 1 shot, and I do no wounds, so nothing happens. Then I try and use Blade Wind, 3d6, Strength 4, Weapon Skill 4, Close Combat Attacks. I'm aiming for his big unit of skeletons there. Throw a bunch of dice at it. It does go off, but he easily dispels it because he's level 4 and I'm only level 2. Crossbows start firing away. Basically, it's just hoping for a few shots here. They moved, they're shooting rapid fire, they're shooting past half, so they need like 6s, and then they actually do 2 wounds, and he loses 2 skeletons due to armor piercing. So here we are at the bottom of turn 1. So far, next to no damage done to the Tomb Kings. They've got a 5-up board on the right. They've got a bunch of guys in the center who can just start killing my characters. I've lost my standard bear. One of the Hydras is already down to 3 wounds, but we are closing in. Tomb Kings turn 2. They start off, like always, moving. Well, in this case, he actually runs back again. He decides that he doesn't want to move forward. He wants to get more rounds of shooting and spells. So everything in his army just kind of scurries away a little bit. Now, he rolls off for magic again. He gets 6, and then he doesn't get any channels, but he then gets 3 more power dice due to the Casket of Souls, and I fail my channel. Casket of Souls fires away at the Hydra, fails to cast the spell, and then he starts doing Caress of Lanif, which is the same 2d6 minus his strength, and he goes to hit my Sorceress. And it goes off. He gets a ton of 6 potential wounds, but he needs 4 up and only gets 1 wound, so she lives by 1 wound. And then he does Protection again. Now this time he's boosting it, so it gives 5-up ward to everybody within 24 or 12. It's a big area there, basically his whole army. And it also brings back D3 plus 1 models when he casts it. And he actually miscasts, so it explodes, does a bunch of wounds, and kills those skeletons plus 2 that came back, and Hierophant takes a wound there. The archers from the chariots fire away at my crossbows that are hiding inside the building there and kills one of them, and then he throws the burning catapult down on my Hydra, who doesn't take a wound there. And then the Dark Elves turn 2 starts up, and the Hydra charges through the forest, or attempts to charge through the forest at the chariots. And we roll off. It turns out it's the poison wood, so I have to do a dangerous terrain check, which I'm fine with, and run right into the chariots there. Now, those chariots are pretty much dead, because every time they've been charged, they don't handle well. They really need the charge in order to kill. The Dark Elves Spearmen try and charge, but they fail their charge. They pass their stupidity this time, the Cold One Knight, so they run right up the middle. And the other Hydra moves up, getting ready to breath weapon. The Sorceress runs and flies past them, landing behind. The Spearmen do a quick reform and move up 5 inches towards the center, and the Dreadlords join the Spearman unit, getting ready to either run out of the spears or rather run out of the crossbows, or just stay with them. Only get 3 power dice, and he does channel 1, so we have the same, but I do have my Darkstar Cloak that gives me 1 more. I go to use Blade Wind, 3d6, Strength 4, Weapon Skill 4 hits, and once again I'm casting this on the big unit of skeletons here. It goes off, but he easily dispels that. So I try and use Power of Darkness with my 1 remaining dice, which goes off, so I get D3 plus 1, so I get 4 more power dice. This time I now use Chill Wind, which D6 Strength 4 hits, goes off against the catapult, 2 hits, and needed 6s, not enough. If I had wounded, they wouldn't have been able to shoot. The Hydra uses its breath weapon, which is only Strength 3 now against their toughness of 4, and it does actually do a wound though, despite their 5-up ward. And then the crossbows pepper into the catapult there. No wounds caused. The other crossbows shoot into the skeleton horde, just trying to see if we can knock a few out of them. Lots of shots, but only 1 wound, which he then makes. So no wounds done there. But then the Hydra hits the chariots. The Beastmasters go first. They 5s to wound. They do 2 wounds. And he fails the first ward and the second ward. So 2 wounds from the Beastmasters. Now this is all at the same time. The Hydra, we're just going to roll him first. 3s to hit, re-rolling. 2s to wound. And he does 3 wounds, and only 2 of those are actually wounded. So he kills one chariot, and the other one takes a wound. They attack back, tons of attacks. They're wounding on 6s, and he has a 4-up, 4-up. So he only takes 1 wound. So he's down to 4 wounds. So I win combat, though, and he loses another chariot. Tomb King's turn 3, because the Tomb Guard now try and charge my Spearmen, which they easily make, getting 12 inches there. So they move up and start falling all over the place as they move in, but they definitely close the gap between the Spearmen. And then his center decides to charge the Knights because they do not want to be charged, which he easily makes that charge as well. The Catapult turns, faces down my Sorceress here. Big magic face, gets tons of power dice. Only gets 2 from the casket though, and I do not channel still. Now he does Righteous Smiting. It's +1 attack on everyone in a unit. So he's casting it on the skeletons here, which goes off, and I don't try and dispel it. And he also gets guys back for getting that. So another 3 skeletons come back. Then he tries to use Desiccation, -1 strength and toughness to my Knights, which would be a big deal, but he actually fails this. He needed a 7 and rolled a 6. Now he's going to use Purple Sun of Xerxes on them, which if they fail their initiative check, they die, but I throw everything at it to stop it from going off. He then hits my Sorceress directly, but because it's a flaming attack, I have a 2-up ward against it, which he forgot about. So stay tuned for part 3 and see how these combats go.